Hi, my name is Jennifer. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to do another bookish quiz. So this is the second in this little series of bookish quizzes from this quiz book. This is the Penguin Book Quiz from the Very Hungry Caterpillar to Ulysses by James Walton. This was published in 2019, so it's not super up to date, but it's relatively modern. I'll link below to the previous video if you missed it. Like with that, there are 5 rounds. A couple are like normal quiz question styley. I think there's one where we have to guess the author, one that's extracts from books, and I think maybe one with connections. We're going with the same high-tech system as last time, which is the answers have been kindly written on the back of these scraps of paper for me, so I don't spoil myself for the other answers when I'm looking in the back of the book for them. Anyway, should we get into it? Round 1 is 12 questions with no theme at all. So these are just random bookish questions. Question 1. The first edition of which book, first published in 1852 and never out of print since, begins? Ends, entity, being, existence. 1852. Ends, entity, being, existence. Never out of print. Okay, that beginning doesn't mean anything to me. What about like... sounds like it could be something by like Sartre or something, but I have no idea. Let's see. Oh, Roger's Thesaurus. Thesaurus? Well, there you go. I didn't get that right. Question 2. A Woman's Work is the 2017 autobiography of which politician who twice served as the acting leader of the Labour Party? I don't know. 2017. Acting leader of the Labour Party? I don't know. Harriet Harman. Yeah, I should have got that. Question 3. A Brief History of Humankind is a subtitle of which 2014 book by Yuval Noah Harari? I have nothing for that. Sapiens. I feel like I have heard of that actually, to be fair. Right, come on, can we get one right? Question 4. Which prophecy became a bestseller in the 1990s for James Redfield? Prophecy? Is there a book called The Mothman Prophecy? Where I don't really... I'm just dropping bits of paper. The Celestine Prophecy, which I've never heard of. I've dropped a bit of paper. Let me get it without looking at the answer. Okay. Right, this is going really well. Question 5. Which art became a bestseller in the 1980s for Donald Trump? Which art? The art of... making money or power. What do we think? The art of power. The art of the deal. Same theme. Question 6. I think I know this one. Whose first 2 novels in the 1990s were Watermelon and Lucy Sullivan is Getting Married? I have read those books, and this is Marion Keyes, I believe. Correct. Finally. Question 7. Dude, Where's My Country and Stupid White Men are among the books by which alliteratively named filmmaker and author? Michael. You see the one that did like... yeah, I know who I want to say. I can picture him. What's his name? Michael... oh God. I don't know. Michael Moore, yeah. Question 8. Which alliteratively named novelist was born in South Shields in 1906? Left school at 14 to go into domestic service. And ended up as one of Britain's best-selling writers of the 20th century. So self-shields. So could that be Catherine Cookson? Yeah, Catherine Cookson. Okay, question 9. Who wrote The Power, which won the 2017 Bailey's Women's Prize for Fiction and was named by Barack Obama as one of his favourite books of that same year? I think I've DNF'd The Power. And I think it's Naomi Alderman. Correct. Well done. Question 10. In 2002, which author, whose middle name is Kruber, became the first woman to receive the annual Grand Master Award from the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America? I can't even think of any women sci-fi authors, so I'm going to pass. I feel like I'm going to know this name. Ursula K. Le Guin. So was she? Oh yeah, K. Obviously. When was Ursula K. Le Guin writing? I don't think I've read anything by her. Question 11. Which Indian writer, whose surname is a male first name, won the 1997 Booker Prize with her first novel, The God of Small Things? I think The God of Small Things is by Arundhati Roy. I haven't read it. Correct. Question 12. Which Irish writer, whose surname is a male first name, was shortlisted for the Booker Prize 4 times between 1970 and 2002, when his shortlisted book was The Story of Lucy Galt? I want to read that book. I've read a short story collection by this author and I really, really liked it. And I want to read more. But what is his name? Trevor? William Trevor? William Trevor. Get in. Okay. Round 2. Let's have a little sip of tea. Name the author celebrity special. So these are clues to an author who is maybe better known for something else. So I think there's 4 clues for each one. So obviously, the fewer clues you need, the better. Okay. For a time, she was known to certain people as Renaissance. Next clue, her middle name was Robinson. Next clue, in 1991, while a practicing lawyer, she became an assistant to the mayor of Chicago. And then the final clue, between January 2009 and January 2017, her address was 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. So that must be Michelle Obama. Correct. Okay, next one. His first TV role in 1964 was as Bert Bradshaw in the soap opera Crossroads. In 2006, he was voted British TV's greatest ever star in a public poll that was part of ITV's 50th anniversary celebrations. British TV's greatest ever star. Next clue, one of his long-running TV acting roles was as a detective, created by R.D. Wingfield. I don't know who R.D. Wingfield is. Final clue, another was as a character who in 2018 was voted by the British public as having provided TV's greatest ever moment when he fell through a bar. So that is from Only Fools and Horses, isn't it? So that must be David Jason. Presumably. Correct. Hey. Next one. Her father was the mayor of Bath. In 2017, she was voted Best TV Judge at the National Television Awards. What? Her 2013 autobiography was called Recipe for Life. And finally, in 2012, she received a CBE for services to the culinary arts. So she's a cook and she's a TV judge. So I'm guessing that's Mary Berry. Correct. I am doing all right on this round, aren't I? Okay, next one. He has the same initials as the author of the 1776 pamphlet Common Sense, which advocated American independence from Britain. No idea. Yeah. After leaving, I was just reading ahead. After leaving Sandhurst in 1992. Oh no, can't be. After leaving Sandhurst in 1992, he joined the Army Air Corps. Between December 2015 and June 2016, he grew 2 to 3 centimetres, even though he was in his 40s at the time. What? In 2016? Oh! In 2016, he became the first Briton to be honoured by the Queen while not on Earth. Oh God, what's his name? Tim Peake? That spaceman? Is that his name? Tim Peake? Tim Peake. Okay. In the sitcom Friends, she played the stepmother of Emily, the English woman Ross briefly married. So, that's Jennifer Saunders, I think. She wrote the Spice Girls jukebox musical Viva Forever. She was the voice of the evil fairy godmother in Shrek 2. And her TV roles include Caroline Martin and Adina Monsoon. I think that is Jennifer Saunders. Correct. And finally, he co-founded Eton's first mountaineering society. He was christened Edward, but the nickname that his older sister gave him when he was a week old has stuck ever since. In 2009, aged 35, he became the UK's youngest ever Chief Scout. I think this is Bear Grylls. His TV shows include The Island and Born Survivor. Yeah, Bear Grylls. Bear Grylls, did I get all them right? Well done to me. Okay, round 3 is extracts from the ending of books. So we need to guess the book and the author. And it tells you the year of publication. First one, from a novel of 1890. When they entered, they found hanging upon the wall a splendid portrait of their master, as they had last seen him, in all the wonder of his exquisite youth and beauty. Lying on the floor was a dead man, in evening dress with a knife in his heart. He was withered, wrinkled, and loathsome of visage. It was not till they had examined the rings that they recognised who it was. So I think that's Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I mean, as I'm doing this, I am realising these might spoil some books. But correct. The author hasn't been written on the piece of paper, but I know it's Oscar Wilde. From a novel of 1906. Oh, I think I know this one. Just from the first sentence. Now the house door opens. Bobby's voice calls, "Come in, Daddy, come in." He goes in and the door is shut. I think we will not open the door or follow him. I think that just now we are not wanted there. I think it would be best for us to go quickly and quietly away. At the end of the field, among the thin gold spikes of grass and the harebells and gypsy roses and St. John's wort, we may just take one last look over our shoulders at the White House, where neither we nor anyone else is wanted now. Simply because of Bobby and Daddy, I think that sounds like The Railway Children by Nesbit. The Railway Children. The author has not been written on the piece of paper for me. Well, it is E. Nesbit. Next, from 1897. I took the papers from the safe where they had been ever since our return so long ago. We were struck with the fact that in all the mass of material of which the record is composed, there is hardly one authentic document, nothing but a mass of typewriting, except the later notebooks of Mina and Seward and myself, and Van Helsing's memorandum. We could hardly ask anyone, even did we wish to accept these as proof of so wild a story. Van Helsing summed it all up as he said with our boy on his knee. We want no proofs, we ask none to believe us. This boy will someday know what a brave and gallant woman his mother is. Already he knows her sweetness and loving care. Later on he will understand how some men so loved her that they did dare much for her sake. Jonathan Harker. So, that is Dracula, right? Bram Stoker? Correct. From a children's book of 1928. So they went off together, but wherever they go and whatever happens to them on the way in that enchanted place on the top of the forest, a little boy and his bear will always be playing. So a little boy and his bear. So is that Winnie the Pooh? Winnie the Pooh? Emil? The House at Pooh Corner. Do I get a point for that? Round 4 is, for each question we're going to get 3 different clues and we need to link the 3 items in each case. Okay, so question 1. The author of the 2019 picture book Swarm of Bees, who'd earlier made his name with the 13th book sequence, A Series of Unfortunate Events. So that's Lemony Snicket, right? Next, Anthony Burgess's 1962 novel that became a controversial film, so that's The Clockwork Orange. The Black Marketeer in Graham Greene's The Third Man, played in the film version by Orson Welles. I don't know the answer to that, but we've got orange and we've got lemon, so I'm going to say fruit. Citrus fruits. There we go. Question 2. The 1970s bestseller by Jack Higgins about a German wartime plot to kidnap Churchill that takes its title from a phrase broadcast from the first moon landing. The Barry Hines novel of 1968 that became a Ken Loach film. And Helen MacDonald's 2014 Costa Book of the Year and winner of the Samuel Johnson Prize, now the Bailey Gifford Prize for non-fiction. Is the Jack Higgins one The Eagle Has Landed? Oh, and then the Barry Hines novel is that Kes. So they're all about Helen MacDonald, she write H is for Hawk? So Birds of Prey? Birds of Prey, get in. Right, these next clues are really short. So, the Playboy of the Western World, Disgrace, and Peter Pan. J.M. So Peter Pan was written by J.M. Barrie, Disgrace was J.M. Coetzee. I do like that book. I don't know what the Playboy of the Western World is, but J.M., the initials J.M. is what I'm going for. Authors who use the initials J.M. Right, next one. The author of the 2018 novel Mad Blood Stirring, who's also been a presenter of the Radio 1 breakfast show and the Radio 2 drive time show. The author of In the Psychiatrist's Chair, based on the interviews he conducted in his Radio 4 series of the same name. This means nothing to me. Ruth Rendell's detective, who first appeared in her first novel From Doom with Death. She's got a detective called Adam Dalgleish, but those other clues mean nothing to me, so I'm going to pass. Oh, Irish counties. Let's see if I can find the... What round are we on? Round 4. Wait. Oh, here we are. Simon Mayo, Anthony Clare, Inspector Wexford. Okay, anyway. Next one. Pal something. A novel by John O'Hara that became a Rodgers and Hart musical. The Life and Times of the Thunderbolt something, a memoir of childhood by Bill Brighton. That's the Thunderbolt Kid. And then brother and sister Charles and Mary, whose Tales from Shakespeare has never been out of print since it was published in 1807. So that's Charles and Mary Lamb, Thunderbolt Kid. It must be like young animals. Young animals. Finally, Call the Midwife, which I've never seen. The Story of Tracy Beaker and The Day of the Triffids. So The Day of the Triffids is John Wyndham. Story of Tracy Beaker, Jacqueline Wilson. So are the initials JW? Books by authors with the initials JW. Okay, just one more round to go. I think these are just like random questions about like farewells and endings. Okay, question 1. Goodbye Soldier was the 6th volume of whose war memoirs that began with Adolf Hitler, my part in his downfall. I mean, I don't know. Churchill? Spike Milligan? Okay. Whose last novel was Finnegan's Wake? Was that James Joyce? Yes, James Joyce. Titus Alone is the last book in which trilogy by Mervyn Peake? I've got no idea on that one. Gormenghast. I think this is a book I was quite interested in reading, actually. Let me know if you've read it. What's the first line of the poem whose last line is "and dances with the daffodils"? Is this Wordsworth? Oh, come on, I do know this. I can't remember, I do know this. But I can't think, I've had a total mind blank. I wandered lonely as a cloud. I knew a cloud was in there somewhere. Holiday at the Dewdrop Inn was the 3rd and final novel in the trilogy that began with The Family from One End Street, by which British children's writer? The Family from One End Street rings a vague bell. 3rd and final novel in the trilogy. Which British children's writer? Family from One End Street. Don't know, I'll have to pass, I think. Eve Garnett, who I don't think I've heard of. Moomin Valley in November was the last novel in the Moomin series by which Finnish children's writer Tove Jansson, I think. Yes. Dylan Thomas and Albert Einstein both died in which decade? Which decade? Flipping heck. When was Einstein? I don't know, 1920s? I could be way off. 1950s, yeah, okay. Which First World War poet, whose poems include Anthem for the Doomed Youth and Dulce et Decorum Est, was killed in action a week before the armistice was signed? Anthem for the Doomed Youth. Wilfred Owen. Wilfred Owen. Who wrote the 1995 novel The Moor's Last Sigh? I've never heard of that, so I'm going to pass. Oh, Salman Rushdie? Never heard of that. Doug Naylor's novel Last Human, whose main character is Dave Lister, is based on which TV series that Naylor also wrote initially with Rob Grant? None of that means anything to me, so I'm going to pass. Oh, Red Dwarf. Okay. What was the title of Robert Graves' 1929 autobiography? A title that he rather ruefully acknowledged was my sole contribution to Bartlett's Dictionary of Familiar Quotations. So what was the title of Robert Graves' autobiography? I don't know. Goodbye to all that. Finally, Atlas Shrugged was which writer's last novel? I feel like I know this. But I can't remember. Ayn Rand, yeah. Did I do okay? I didn't keep count. I think I did alright. Let me know how you did. Let me know which answers were you shouting at the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you enjoyed it and if you would like another quizzy video. Bye.